Everyone, good afternoon. My name is Richie Barsamian. I'm the Brooklyn Republican Party Vice Chair for Campaigns, and I'm here to represent Chairman Gora. I am very, very sad, and the people around me are very, very sad, and we are very angry. Above all, today, our thoughts are with the family of Dereck Chen, who went out last night and never made it back home. Yet again, another New Yorker went out and did not come home. Yet again, another New Yorker was the victim of horrific and senseless violence. He was attacked for his knapsack. Every time, which is becoming far too frequent, we hear of the loss of life of an individual working at a fast food restaurant, killed because the French fries were cold. A young man like Dereck Chen coming here, killed for his knapsack. What do we get? We get politicians going on social media and expressing their sadness. Yet, these are the same politicians who refuse to fix the broken system. They are the same politicians who refuse to reverse the cashless bail system that has flooded the streets of New York City with recidivist criminals. These are the same people who will not acknowledge reality. If I sound angry, it's because I am. Again, one of our New Yorkers did not make it home last night. The people surrounding me, these are the individuals that know what is right, that know what must be done and what can be done. And in a moment, they will speak with you about how we reverse this public safety nightmare. They will speak to you about the immediate need to hire thousands more police officers. And they will speak to you about the urgency of reversing these failed policies that are pro-criminal, anti-police, and anti-New Yorker. But once again, we must never ever forget, there is a family today that is filled with sadness because their young son did not come back home last night. And for the family of Dereck Chen, our hearts are broken. We offer our prayers and we offer our promise. This moment, this immediate plan of action will be in the memory of another individual, very sadly, who did not make it home last night. I would like to introduce to you at this moment, to my right, Vito Labella, who is running for state senate. Thank you, Vito.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. I want to thank Dimitri for setting this up so quickly, the GOP, Brooklyn, GOP, and the Conservative Party for supporting this effort. I'm wearing black today for Dereck Chen and his family. I am wearing black today for my city. I served this city as a police lieutenant for 32 and a half years. I retired 5 years ago, and I'm coming back into service because this has got to end. A summer night, 8:30. There's a place down there that used to be called Ellie Bly. It's an amusement center for kids. I guarantee you it was packed last night. Person bringing their family here to shop, and this happens. This happens here. It can happen anywhere, and it's happening everywhere. I'm going to give you some inside tips of what we can do, of what the real problem is. This was a botched robbery. This kid had a knapsack, and the perpetrator, Pug, took that from him. Had that been it, had that perpetrator taken that bag and fled, and the cops caught him, and they found a gun on him, the crazy progressive DAs, they would say something like, well, he just had the gun on him. He wasn't going to use it. He didn't use it. This is a non-violent crime. And here, this illustrates how crazy, how absolutely crazy that narrative is. The guy had a gun on him, and when the victim fought back, he used it. That's it. You have a gun on you if you're going to use it. Anybody caught with a gun, with an illegal firearm, during the course of a crime, should be charged with the maximum crime allowed by law. And it should have been charged even if he didn't kill his poor kid. It should have been charged as a robbery one. Should start by asking for it remanded into custody for the nature of the crime. They should start by asking for the most severe charges in front of the grand jury and using those to trial and great conviction. They should start by asking for the harshest penalty possible. And then we go down. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Vito Lavelle, and I want to give it to the next speaker. Thank you.
Vito, thank you very much. To my right, I'd like to introduce Dimitri Kugel, candidate for the 47th Assembly District, and someone who understands the struggle to support law enforcement and common sense. Dimitri, thank you.
Hello all. I can't begin to describe how sad and angry I feel. This is probably my 40th time speaking to the parents and brothers of the city of Philadelphia. I'm sorry that the city has failed them. I'm sorry that the city has failed their loved ones and their children. The bail laws in this city have gotten so bad, undeniably wrong, that we have to accelerate. Crime is up, theft is up. There's nothing wrong with rather than turn the system around. Bail reform is bad. It's bad for me, it's bad for you, it's bad for them. Guns in the streets, there's no way to get them off unless we allow our police officers to do their jobs. Once again, I'm looking for the victim's family, Dereck Chen, his parents. My heart goes out to you.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce Alec Brooke Krasny, candidate for New York State Assembly in the 46th District. Alec.
Thank you very much. Very personal. Very personal. That's a Dereck Chen. He's extremely personal. Father of three. And I'm grandfather. All my kids, they shop in this store, this beaching club, together with my grandson. Dereck, my heart goes out to you. For 9 years, I was an assemblyman for the other people. And some other years, but I was told to go to Coney Island. Because Coney Island area is known for gang violence and it's known for gun violence. Coney Island is any better now than it was 10 years ago, than it is better, as because of stop and freeze program. And you know who asked me as an assemblyman for doing stop and freeze? The mothers of black teenagers in Coney Island. I'm saying it to the elected officials in this city who is afraid of saying these two words, stop and freeze. And they asked me to do it because they're afraid for their sons and their daughters. And they know when you do stop and freeze on Coney Island, on Mermaid Avenue, on Nopchin Avenue, on Surf Avenue, you close those 3 entrances to Coney Island Peninsula and you're arresting a lot of illegal guns. And it's not ideology of socialists or Republicans or Democrats. It's a very American way to do. Because you have to help this city to get rid of illegal guns, for God's sake. That's what we have to do. Besides the programs for the kids to take kids off the street and have programs for them. And besides, of course, to restore support and respect for our police force. There is some crazy assemblywoman now holding a hunger strike over the possibility of a normal common sense bail reform, bail laws returning to our city. That's how crazy it is. That's how impossible it is for the common sense people to fight it now. But common sense is coming. There gotta be consequences for those who created the lack of relationship between the police force and the people, especially in the difficult neighborhoods, especially. They gotta be held responsible, these people. And they gotta be held responsible for all these deaths. Dereck Chen, I'm personally sorry. I'm personally sorry that I didn't say enough about stopping police for now. I didn't say enough, I didn't do enough. But we're gonna do everything we can with the people around us, with the leadership of Republican Party, and with all those Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, people from every party who will understand that the common sense is supposed to come back to the city. And there is no other way. There is no other way to keep this city safe. It's just a terrible, terrible death. And I'm so sorry. This is a tragedy for all Americans. Don't look for any backgrounds or racial backgrounds or anything. This is a tragedy for all Americans, for all of us. Let's fix it together. Thank you.
Alec, thank you very much. Please remember why we are here. We are not here for politics. We are not here for Republican versus Democrat. We are here unified against absolute irresponsibility. Look around you. This is not about politics. This is about New Yorkers demanding. We are no longer requesting. We are no longer filling out petitions. We are demanding justice. There was a time in our city where we were one of the safest cities in America because we had leadership that understood to support law enforcement. We had leadership that understood we need police officers and we need to support them. The members of the NYPD are ready, willing, and able to do their job. We have a responsibility as New Yorkers to do our job and demand they be supported. At this moment, I would like to introduce candidate for New York State Attorney General Michael Henry. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Michael Henry, and I'm running to be the next Attorney General for the state of New York. The first thing I'd like to do is express my deepest condolences to Dereck Chen's family. No parent should have to suffer the excruciating loss of a child. Dereck Chen, 19 years old, as we know, is here in the BJ's parking lot last night. Someone attempts to rob him, and he gets fatally shot in the face. And as the spike in violence against our Asian American neighbors rises, the only thing that people in charge in Albany want to do is offer hashtags that say stop Asian hate. Seriously, hashtags? As people's lives are being tragically cut short? Attacks over and over and over and over again? The people of the state are demanding change and demanding it now. We have a criminal element and a mindset right now, and the reason there is a crime crisis is because the people in charge are putting the rights of criminals ahead of the rights of victims like Dereck Chen. You know, we have a pro-criminal agenda, the bail reform, the parole reform. This does not only just put Asian Americans at risk, it puts all of us at risk. You know, we sit here, my opponent had the audacity recently to say she doesn't think the spike in crime warrants any changes to cashless bail because she needs more quote-unquote credible data. Credible data is more victims like Dereck Chen. We have an environment right now where people are robbing people and being set back out onto the streets because they had an illegal firearm but didn't discharge it during the robbery, so they get set free, no bail. That's what these dangerous laws do. There's absolutely no fear of consequence right now. And these laws are making it where people are being set back out when they should be sitting in jail until their cases are being adjudicated. And what do we see? We see more victims. We have Dereck Chen's family right now who has to mourn the loss of another family again. Dereck Chen is not a statistic. He's one of us. You know, our Asian American communities have been attacked. And this cashless bail law is going to unleash violence on our streets, on our communities, on our ethnic communities, especially the Asian American community. And nobody is doing anything to stop it. And I'm telling you right now, when we get to Albany, this is all going to end. And everybody knows in November, public safety is on the ballot, and they know who are the people that are going to stand up for all New Yorkers, regardless of their race, gender, sexual orientation, or religious affiliation.
Thank you very much, Michael. At this time, I have to introduce to you an individual who completely and totally understands that these tragedies cannot continue, must not continue. An individual understands what it means to support law enforcement, someone who believes in the values that we hold dear as all New Yorkers. At this time, I'd like to introduce a member of the New York City Council, Ina Vernikoff.
I represent the neighboring district, but this issue is so important to me that of course I have to come here. First of all, I'd like to express my sympathies and condolences to the family of Dereck Chen, who was killed, and no parents should be burying their child. And unfortunately, you know, his blood is so warm, but we have to talk about why this is happening. We cannot resolve these issues. We don't talk about why this is happening. And all of this is happening, the robberies, the murders, specifically are happening in the Asian community, the Jewish community, and it's happening in the Asian community because the Asian community is seen as a vulnerable, easy target to attack. And who is responsible for all of this that's happening, that's taking place? It's our politicians, our legislators who are putting these policies in place that are making it dangerous for individuals to walk the streets, and specifically members of the Asian community who are vulnerable targets. So what we have to do is come together and stand up against this crazy policies, against politicians like Kathy Hochul, who is refusing to fire the district attorney, who is consistently protecting the criminals, and not keeping law-abiding citizens safe. We do not feel safe to literally walk the streets, go on the train, go to a restaurant, go to a store. This has to stop, and the communities all have to come together. I have a member of my staff here who is Trump. We work together to make sure that the Asian community is safe. We unfortunately had to create a civilian patrol group because we don't feel safe. We don't feel that the members of the Asian community can walk on the street or go to the store just to buy fruits and vegetables and feel safe. The store owners don't feel safe. People feel that if they go on the street, they might get killed. This is the United States of America 2022. This has to stop. I'm here to do anything that I can in my power to make sure that the Asian community feels safe. If anybody wants to volunteer with our Asian patrol group, it's called Asian Community Watch. They can reach out to my office. And again, I'm here for the family. I'm here for all the members of the Asian community and everyone who needs my assistance. Thank you very much.
Councilmember Vernikoff, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for always using common sense to support all New Yorkers. To my right is an individual who is a true New Yorker. Again, someone who believes and understands common sense. He is running for New York State Assembly, Michael Novikov.
I was shocked. I was shocked because I'm a father of a 12-year-old, and my daughter asks me all the time, Dad, can I go from the school there, here? I'm like, why not? We're in a free country. This is freedom. Yes, you can walk out of school and go anywhere you want. But now I'm concerned because I have no idea what's going to happen to a child just a short trip from school to home. And this is absolutely terrible. And people who live in 45th District, the most Russian-speaking district in the country, I talk to them, and I hear they're afraid. You know, there is a new trend in our city. People afraid to wear jewelry. Have you heard about that? People afraid to wear jewelry. They don't wear expensive jewelry anymore because they're afraid. This has to be stopped. I can't even understand what the victim's family is feeling right now. This is absolutely terrible. This cannot happen. This is not a matter of race or politics, Republicans or Democrats. This is just doesn't have any common sense. It has to stop. New Yorkers have to live their free, their regular, their happy lives. We don't have to be afraid just walking out of our homes, of our offices. This is insane. This should be stopped. And this is what I'm fighting for, and this is what I'm trying to achieve. Safety, number one concern for all New Yorkers today. Thank you very much.
Michael, thank you very much. Thank you. Before I introduce Yuri Dashevsky, candidate for Congress, I ask all of you to please look and see what we are waking up to. People shot on trains on their way to work. People shoved in front of trains. People losing their life for doing their job. People being stabbed for working in a deli counter. Is this acceptable? We have a mayor, a Democrat mayor, a former NYPD captain who himself is very aware and has called for immediate changes. So for those of you who think this is political, for those of you who think this is about parties, I am here to assure you we cannot afford anymore to be sad, to cry, and to wake up to one horrific headline after another. No more loss of life for all New Yorkers. We need your support. At this moment, I would like to introduce Yuri Dashevsky, candidate for the 8th Congressional District.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very sad day for all of us in the city. The city is beautiful. Many of us here came to New York by choice. We became Americans. We became New Yorkers. And this city was handed over to us, as precious as it is. It's one of the finest achievements of human civilizations, believe it or not. Equal to pyramids, to anything that was created by humanity in the course of our common history. How do we continue this glorious march of people who came before us, who made this town what it is? With all the geniuses that are living in these buildings and driving these cars and playing in those theaters and writing in their dens, wrote books for tomorrow. We work. Everybody who lives in this town has a right to safety, to security. People come out and they continue to work to provide for the families, to provide for the city, to provide for progress in the city. Progress is a good thing when it serves everybody. So we have this right and we demand this right from Washington, D.C., from city government, from the future governor of New York, Liz Zeldin. We want him to take care of this. A lot of things that are standing in our way has to be removed. New York will come back full strength, full force. We believe in it. That's why we're here for. And with our condolences to the Chen family, we demand law and order here. We have fine police that is eager to go and take care of the criminals. Please, 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 let's do something.
Yuri, thank you. Is anyone else at this moment prepared to speak? At this moment, you have heard. Please.
When I saw this news, I'm so shocked, I'm so angry. So what always happen in our community? So they should change. This should change very fast. They should change. If they don't change this year, we want to change. This year we want to change. So this year is the election year. So people should come out to vote for your community. Which one take care of your community? That is election office. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Please remember, change is possible. We demand it, we need it, and we deserve it. But once again, we are terribly, terribly sad, and I would like, with everyone's support, to ask as we bow our heads in one moment of silence, prayer, and respect that we've lost Dereck Chen, and let us pray for him and his family. Please, for a moment. Everyone, thank you for being here, and thank you for giving the attention to this horrible, horrible event. Again, thank you. Any questions? Any questions for any of my colleagues here today?
Richie, how do you spell your last name?
Barsamian, B-A-R-S-A-M-I-A-N. I'm the campaign vice chair for the Brooklyn GOP, and I'm here to represent Chairman Laura. I'm here to represent all our candidates. But more importantly, I'm here because as a New Yorker, as I said earlier, we are all unified in our sadness, our deep sadness for the loss of Dereck Chen's life and his family who now must mourn. But again, we are unified as New Yorkers in demanding change. Change will stop this from happening. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for your time and your attention.